Welcome to voters, both Israelis living in the U.S. Uri Katz, a Joe Biden supporter from Los Angeles, and Joey Zevuloni, a Donald Trump supporter, joining us from Miami. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time on this day. Uri, let's start with you. How confident are you feeling right now? Do you think Joe Biden will be the next president of the United States?
I want to hope so, that he will be. The elections after 2016, nothing, we cannot expect anything but craziness. I do hope that the polls are correct, and what I feel from what I see here in Los Angeles is that Joe Biden is going to be the next president.
As you say, we are getting used to the idea of craziness in 2020. Joe, how are your confidence levels right now? Do you think Donald Trump has done enough to secure another 4-year term?
Let me tell the folks out there, Donald Trump has been exceptionally great for America, exceptionally great for Israel. His accomplishments in the past 4 years will certainly earn him another 4 years. And let me just refer back to Mr. Katz here, that is supporting Biden as an Israeli American. Biden has promised already to reinstate Palestinian aid, which goes directly to terrorist families. I'd like for him right here on your show to tell us all what he thinks about that. How can he look at, those families of the victims, of the terrorist victims in the eyes and say, I supported a candidate that became a U.S. president that is going to reinstate the same monies to support those families responsible that their family member committed heinous crimes against Jews and Americans in Israel. I'd like to get that response, because for me as an Israeli and as a Jew, that's the number one priority, to make sure that Israel is well protected, make sure that the Jewish community here in the United States is safe. And as you can see from the anti-Semitic attacks that we've been experiencing, the looting, the rioting, the fires, the desecrating of synagogues, that all came from Biden supporters, not Trump supportors.
So let me stop you right there and get a response there from Uri. Talk us through your response.
I'd love to get a response.
First off, I'm not sure what he's talking about, because to be honest, I'm not sure about what his politics going to be in regards to Israel. But I know that, as you mentioned, there was the looting and all the Black Lives Matter and everything that happened during the Trump presidency. So you cannot say anything about Biden if he's not the president at the moment. Also, the thing is that I've been living here for 9 years in the States. Israel has their own issues. They have all the riots that are going on right now with their prime minister. And the way I look at things is I'm looking more at the big picture about how the global response is going to be. Because so far, the last 4 years, I didn't feel, let's say, from 2016 to today, I'm not feeling safer. I'm not feeling more optimistic about what's happening here in the States or globally. The sense is that in Europe and probably in Israel as well, a lot of people do look at the United States and just waiting for this to be over. It's just not good times here. I do not feel any type of being optimistic if Trump is going to be here. The fact is that when I was walking around here, I live in West Hollywood, and I was walking here on the main street in Santa Monica Boulevard, and I see more and more places that have been barricaded. Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills is completely shut off for the next 48 hours. The White House has walls surrounding it now. Is that how it's supposed to be? Does that make more sense? Do you feel safer now? Do you feel that this is the right way to live here?
Well, let me stop you there and ask you, Joe, do you feel safe? Please respond.
Can I respond? Thank you. So Mr. Katz is, first of all, on his own platform, Joe Biden has already committed to reinstate the Palestinian aid, which goes directly to support terrorist families, to the tune of about $360 million that our great President Trump canceled. The other thing is, you mentioned that you don't feel safe right now. You shouldn't feel safe in Democratic-held counties, because those counties are the ones being boarded up. When you come to areas, that are Republically controlled, from the more right-wing voters, you don't see that kind of fear. You don't see plywood on the storefronts. Where do you see it? You see it in places where Antifa and their corroborators and their partners, that's where you see stores and businesses, and where the White House is overwhelmingly Democratic. As you know, Washington, D.C. is more than 90% Democratic. Those are the areas hit hardest by the radical left. The problem is not Joe Biden per se. Yes, he's problematic for me, but he's not as bad as the radical left that took over the Democratic Party in America. You know, when he accepts endorsements from anti-Semitic organizations such as Engage, I don't know if you know what that is, that's an arm of CARE. This is an organization that calls to boycott the state of Israel, that goes against our values as Americans. They actually sponsor different organizations such as Students for Justice in Palestine that bully and intimidate and attack Jewish students in colleges, students that have no idea about Israel, have no idea about politics. Not too long ago, I want to mention to you, Mr. Katz, that in Emory University, Students of Justice in Palestine hung up eviction notices on every door that has a mezuzah there. Those are the same voters that are voting for Biden. You know who's rooting for Biden? Abbas, Abu Mazen, you know, the head of the Palestinian Authority, the Ayatollahs in Iran, China. They can't wait for Biden to be elected. All of America's worst enemies want Biden in.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Unfortunately, clearly you are demonstrating how robust and how divided people are on so many very pressing issues. I would love to continue for another hour. Unfortunately, our time is up. Thank you so much. Uri Katz from Los Angeles and Joe Zevoloni from Miami.
He'll change his mind.
As I
think
said,
Mr. Katz will change his mind and join the Trump team.
This conversation clearly can continue. I wish you both well. Unfortunately, I am going to end it now. Thank you so much, both of you, for your time.
Trump 2020.
Be well.
4 more years.